go, ladies. Dig, dig, dig.
Go.
Good job, good job, good job. Hey folks, how's everybody doing out there? Hope y'all doing well. Wherever you're at on this beautiful planet we call the Earth. It's a beautiful, partly cloudy day here in the Philippines. It's a Friday. For some reason the kids got the day off. So we are just getting our day started early. Why do we carry these radios? That's what I'm going to talk about. Because so many of y'all have asked us, well, hey man, why you carry those radios? Well, that's a good question. So I've got 9 reasons why we carry these radios. And I'm going to go over them in this quick video. Okay, right off the bat, number 1. Well, before I start, these are like little walkie-talkies, okay? All my ham radio guys out there, these aren't ham radios. They're little line-of-sight walkie-talkies, maybe 1-2 kilometers range, whatever. They're not these are Baofeng, but they're not the radios where I can talk to you around the world, all right? So everybody with a ham radio license, just easy, relax, okay? We are going to buy the ham radios to keep in case of emergency, and once the war with China kicks off, then I won't be worried about FCC rules, okay? But right now, these are just little walkie-talkies, okay? Got a short distance. 9 reasons. Number 1, intercom system. Okay, here we do not have like any type of intercom system. I know if you put those Apple speakers, or what is that called, Alexa, I don't know, my buddy was telling me he's got that system in his house, right? We don't have any of that. This is our intercom system, okay? I'll put the price on the screen, but it comes in like a 4-pack. So for 4 radios, I was leaving 1 outside, 1 in the kitchen, 1 in my office. Anytime I need to, ladies, bring me a beer. I need a cold beer. The ladies that come running with a cold beer. Now look, I don't drink anymore, all right? But just for example, right? Maybe I need some a Mountain Dew or something. I can radio to the ladies. So it's a cheap intercom system. We'll just move right along. Number 2, trekking, and when we're trekking across the sugarcane field or hiking or something like that, we use these to help facilitate our filming, right? You see me filming the ladies from a distance. It's a lot easier to say, okay, everybody hold up, get everything in place, and say, okay, action, and everybody starts walking. Radios make filmings, coordinating the filming so much easier, so that's a good purpose. Number 3, safety. Safety when hiking or trekking or even mountain climbing. Now, like back when we were climbing the mountain over there in Silbic, we would leave a radio down at base camp, so to speak, down at my buddy Francis's house. They would keep a radio down there, so if anybody got hurt going up the mountain, it was line of sight, immediate, efficient communication to say, hey, somebody needs help up on the mountain. They could send some help. It's just smart. It's smart, any type of operation like that, to just leave an extra radio. And these things are what, I don't know, $5, $6, $7 each when you average it out. Just leave a radio. All right, number 4, communicating efforts in case our son has a febrile seizure. Our son has had a series of febrile seizures, which was scary as hell. Okay, here it's not the same where you dial 911 and there's a huge response. Yeah, you can call some numbers or what have you, but half the time we don't have any load. I'll talk about that later. Nobody in this country, well, I don't say nobody, a lot of folks here don't have load, including us. We just don't need the cell system, right? We don't need to use cell phones like we need to use cell phones in the West. So in case we have to get him to the hospital, these things are golden. They're just golden, coordinating the efforts in case there's some type of emergency. Because if there is any type of health emergency here, we're not calling anybody. We're taking action. It's different. If you're having a medical emergency here in the Philippines, you need to get out to the street and yell, "Trike! Trike!" and they'll get you to the medical facility. Don't worry about calling 911. Even if you were to call emergency services, it's just a van going to show up. There's no real EMS in the back of that van, okay? So this helps us coordinate any type of medical emergency that goes down, and recently in the past year, we've dealt with a series of febrile seizures. Number 5, trike drivers. A lot of trike drivers in this country, they don't have cell phones. Not that they don't carry them, they don't have them, right? So what we'll do, if we go to the market or something, and the trike driver is going to wait on us, we'll just pull a radio out of the backpack and issue it temporarily to the trike driver, and it just facilitates pickup. So if we come in the market over here, we end up, buying a bunch of goods, and we come out over there with all the goods, we can just radio to the trike driver and say, hey buddy, we're on the other side of the market with a bunch of stuff. Just come around here and pick us up. So issuing it out to trike drivers for facilitating transportation. And again, a lot of them don't have cell phones. Why don't you call them? A lot of them don't even carry. They don't have cell phones. So this solves a lot of problems. We've never had anybody run off with one of these radios. I used to just keep one clipped on the Tesla chopper and parked the Tesla chopper down near Walking Street. A couple hours later, somebody had indeed stolen the radio, right? So don't leave the radios laying around. Somebody will pick them up. But trike drivers, no, they want the money. They want you to pay them the money for their service. They don't want your damn radio. So I've never had a trike driver run off with a $7 radio. Okay, where are we at? Let's see, number 6. Grandma and older folks in this country, and pretty much a lot of places around the world, don't know how to use cell phones. Her mother does not know how to use a cell phone, not even a keypad cell phone. Now, a keypad cell phone, she knows how to answer it. If it starts ringing, she knows how to hit the green button. But grandma, in 1 minute, you can teach a person like grandma, older, not too technology savvy person, in which we did. I taught grandma how to use this radio in about a minute. She knows how to turn it on, what channel, and push the button. 1, 2, 3. Grandma can use this radio where she cannot use a cell phone. So there you go. You're dealing with old folks, what have you. Easy comm. So for example, if grandma's down there in the cornfield, whatever, you can give her a radio. And you can call and check on her. She can send messages back to the village. No need for load, none of that stuff. So issuing communication, simple, easy communication device issued out to the elderly. Number 7. Backup comms. Even if we are out and about, operating off of cell phones like anybody else, you stick a couple of these in the bag, and for example, we're out shopping, and I say, hey, I'm going to run over across the street and pay a bill. She's going to, run a few blocks over and pick up a chicken or something. Okay, just get the radios out, turn them on. Now, if we move locations, hey, we're leaving Prince, we're going over to Unigo. Okay, we'll meet you over there. It's just too easy. So, not that all the time we got these things clipped on us, but all the times we have these things in our backpack because it's just easy. That way nobody gets lost, there's no confusion, you can change locations, you don't have to sit there and wait if they're dragging ass. So just a backup form of comms that always works. It's not dependent upon the cell service, it's the cell system, brownouts, which is a lot of brownouts, a lot of electricity. In the West, you call them blackouts. Here they call them brownouts. I don't know why, it's just what they call them. Okay, number 8. And I forgot this when I made this video and it wasn't good. I had to say, you know what, let me add some things to this list. Okay, right there, if I get that going right, boom, I got flashlights on these things. You click it one more time, it's got a strobe. So again, for safety purposes, hiking across that sugarcane field late at night, if we go the other way through the trees and through the jungle, so to speak, it gets dark. So you just turn that little flashlight on, and with this battery, that little light right there, which ain't bright right now, but at night, any light's bright. It probably lasts for days. Turn that strobe on, probably lasts for a damn week. So that is a huge emergency feature on these little radios that we use quite often, the flashlight portion. And again, it's not like it's got an hour charge, stuff like that. So if we're walking in traffic, just for another example, when we go for our nightly walks, if it gets dark, we just turn on the strobe. It's another form of safety while we're out walking. Okay, number 9. Wow, I went through this list pretty quick. Alright, so number 9, and this is going to be subjective, right? So maybe it's 8 solid reasons and 1 possible reason. There goes my list of reasons. Be right back with you. Okay. Now look, I'm not advocating you do this, but I was just thinking, I said, you know what, is this some type of deterrent against pickpockets? That's not the reason we carry them. But maybe a side effect, and not that we're looking for any extra attention, but if you walk through town or walk anywhere with these radios on a backpack, people are looking. Again, I'm not looking for that attention. I really don't want that attention. But I thought about it and I said, you know, is that somehow a deterrent for like just your average dirtbag pickpocket if he sees us walking around or sees anybody walking around even with a radio? Here in this country, they think you're with the brown guy. That's my opinion. If they see you carrying one of these radios, because all the brown guy people carry them, you know, it's a lowest form of government, so to speak, to explain that really quick. They don't have huge budgets, so they're not carrying, you know, very complicated radio systems or anything like that. So they carry these little radios, like the same thing we do. So I just thought one time, I said, I wonder if, do they think we're with the brown guy? Is that why they're looking at us? I don't know, but I said, well, maybe that would deter a few pickpockets. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But, you know, I like to tell stories, right? So I'm going to tell a story that happened to me. And when I was thinking about that, it just brought up the story. It's sort of a crazy story. About 25 years ago, and this happened in the U.S., I was at a conference. And I'll just leave all that part vague. But anyhow, late at night, I had hooked up with this bartender. And she didn't get off until, I don't know what it was. You know, it was either midnight or 2. So it was either right before midnight or right at 2 o'clock. Anyhow, I hooked up with her. She's working in the bar. She said, hey, just wait for me, but wait for me outside. All right, you know, obviously the boss will need to see her leaving with a customer, what have you. I said, okay. So she told me, hey, just go right down here to this park. Just wait for me. There's some picnic tables there. I'll be out as soon as I get everything cleaned up, right? All right, so my night was going real well. It was going real well. I go down there. I'm the only person in this tiny little park. You know, it's dark. I'm sitting there on this picnic table. I was a cop at the time. And I'd been a cop. This is what saved me. But I'm sitting there, you know, tank top, basically like a little bathing suit, you know, my tennis shoes. I mean, I was at a conference at a resort type area. All of a sudden, I see these two cats walking down the street, and again, there's nobody in this park but me, sitting on the table. And one has a baseball bat, and one had like some type of pipe or something. And you could hear them, they were hitting the ground with it, making noise, what have you. But when they saw me, they changed course. They made a course correction. I don't know what they were saying. They were in a distance. And they made a beeline straight for me. Now, you don't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out that something bad is about to happen to you. I was 5'0" at the time, so obviously they were on my radar the first time I saw them. When they changed course, I said, here we go. I'm about to either take a beat down or I'm just about to get robbed. You know, these guys are coming to rob me. There was no other reason. They made a beeline for me. I'm the only game in town. They were walking down the street. They were coming to rob me. That's what I thought. That's what I perceived. And as they come closer and closer and closer, you know, there's other picnic tables. They're not going there for a picnic at 2 in the morning. They're not going to that picnic table. They're not going to this one. It's 100% they're coming my way. I'm not armed. I have a cell phone. And I've been out drinking. I just think I have some cash in my pocket. So as they start coming up, I hear them talking. And I don't remember the exact verbiage, but they were planning, they were coordinating how they were about to rob me. And I made a split-second decision. I went on the attack. Yes, I could have ran, but you know, they were younger than me. There was 2 of them. Could I outrun them? I probably could have, but instead of running, I went forward, and this is what I did. It was like I was on duty. I was like radio, white male, white t-shirt, shorts, and I started running straight at him. I said, I got him over here in the park. One's armed with a baseball bat. I was just talking to this imaginary radio on my shoulder here, but it was dark. They couldn't see whether or not I had a radio. It was a little bit of distance. And I just started giving out descriptions of these two assholes while I'm running straight at them. Like it's a trap. Like, hey, I got them. Here they are. The one guy said, holy shit, man, he's a cop, run. They dropped the fucking bats, the pole, whatever, and took off running. Punked them out. That fake radio saved my ass that night. And I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. I mean, in hindsight, I should have, when I saw him, I should have started walking back towards the bar. When they made the beeline, I should have took off running for the bar. But I just gave them too much time to sort of close that distance. And it was fight or flight. And I for some reason, I chose to fight. And I got that dude's baseball bat. I don't know whatever happened to it. I mean, it was like a fucking trophy. I kept for the longest time. And so after that was over, linked up with the bartender. Had a great time. Actually ended up dating that girl for quite some time after that. But she showed up, you know, and I started walking back to the bar. And she met me like halfway. She was coming out. It's like, you know, hey, what's up? I said, you ain't believe what just happened. These two assholes just tried to fucking rob me with this goddamn baseball bat. Anyhow, that's my story. The night my fake radio traffic punked out two would-be, well, they were armed robbers in a park at about 2 in the morning. Another side note to that story. That's all I have. Oh, well, I'll tell you the side note of that story. But I'll answer this. Why don't you just use cell phones? Folks here, nobody has any load, including us. We don't buy load for the cell phone. We don't have monthly plans because we don't need it. We have great internet here. Our internet's 800 up, 800 down. Great internet. When we leave the house, we just carry the radios. Who are we gonna call? We don't need to call anybody. If somebody calls us and we don't answer the phone, it's a pain in the ass. Now I gotta go around to the sorry store and get 20 pesos load so I can call them back. I don't carry a cell phone anymore. Once that chick lifted my phone about a year ago out of my pocket, she did me a huge favor. I don't carry a phone anymore. Just, it's not necessary for my lifestyle. I have an iPad to do all that stuff you need to do with apps and stuff, but I don't carry a cell phone. And even if I did, most folks in this country, when you call them on their phone, they don't answer. You don't believe me? Try to call these hotels that you're gonna stay at. Go to their website, find their phone number, and try to call them. A, most of the numbers aren't gonna be good. B, they're not gonna answer. It's just, using cell phones here, it's just not the way it's done in the West, because everybody communicates on that Facebook Messenger. That's about the only thing they use. So you try to call somebody, they don't answer the phone, and they don't have load to call you back. In any of these circumstances I just talked about, this is much faster communication. Why don't cops use cell phones? Because it's slow. In any type of scenario, you're sitting there, you have to concentrate. It's not good for emergency scenarios. Radios are. It's a big old button. It's easy when you're panicking or something's going down to push that button. It's not easy to sit there and have to do multiple things to accomplish that task. So anyhow, that's why we don't deal with cell phones. Last story, that bartender, I dated her for several months after that, and then she calls me up and says, I'm pregnant. I was like, oh, here we go. And let me back up. I hadn't seen her for like 4 months. I dated her. I hadn't seen her for like 4 months, and she calls me up and says she's pregnant. But what had happened, like 2 months after the last time I saw her, she hooked up with an old boyfriend. Turned out she did a DNA test. It was his. It wasn't mine. But anyhow, Just an interesting story. Maybe that's boring, but for me, it's like it happened yesterday. Two assholes gonna jack me with the Louisville Slugger in that pole. Nope. I jacked your baseball bat, dude. If I still lived in America, I would still had that dude's baseball bat. But I got rid of all my stuff when I left. Moved to Southeast Asia. I don't know what happened to that Louisville Slugger. But if you're watching, you got punks. Hey, if you got a wife or a girlfriend that lives with you, these things are great. Especially if you're a beer drinker. You know, all you do is just key up.
16, 15.
You just key up. Hey, I need a beer. I need a beer. Tempura, bring me a beer. Fatima's call sign is tempura. Her call sign is calamansi. What was Janice's call sign? Chicken wing? I think hers was chicken wing. Anyhow, give your girlfriend a call sign. Tempura, cold beer. See, she went by so fast to get me a beer, you didn't even see her. Nah, I'm BSing. I don't drink no more. I quit drinking. But she looks like she wants to take action. She looks like she's just ready. Baby, do you want me to give you something to do over the radio?
Tempura.
Cannot.
Okay, now I got you. Why you look so beautiful, baby? Cause I wanna kiss you all over again. Till the night closes in. Till the night closes in. Happy gonna make it all better. We'll move to the phone.
So there you go. That's why we carry these radios. Any questions? Peace out, folks. I'll see y'all on the next one.